Jody Burrows, former Division I basketball player. We're enjoying the view of Manhattan Beach. Yeah, so Jody, tell me a little bit about your first year experience at Northeastern. You came from a small town. You were definitely the big fish in Corey, Pennsylvania, and then you go to the big city of Boston, to Northeastern University. Tell me what that transition was like for you. How did your family adjust, and what were the biggest pitfalls that you experienced?
Yeah, I think, I knew I wanted a big city. I didn't know what that looked like. My town is 7,000 people, so the university itself had more people than my hometown.
Yeah.
So, it was interesting. I think it certainly was a whirlwind. I don't think my parents knew how to help in that transition. Definitely you guys, the staff, you try to help the athletes coming in, but in the moment when that's happening and I'm packing and I'm moving, there's so many unknowns, and I definitely think it was a transition. It was tough at times. I thought I was a little over my head, making a move like that. Ultimately, it was amazing, and I would do it a million times over. But there were really no one in my immediate family. There wasn't really anybody that could help with the knowledge of, I was the first one to go to college and make that move, and so much about that move was for basketball, but everything else, I went in totally blind.
Yeah. So, I remember my recruiting trip.
Me too.
Driving from Pittsburgh to Corey, Pennsylvania, ran into the Amish buggy, didn't hit him, just drove by him, and I thought, where the heck am I? But again, being that small town young lady, what did you appreciate about a small town, and what did you appreciate about going to the big city?
Yeah, at 18, I didn't appreciate anything about where I grew up. Looking back, and my family's still there, being able to visit, it was awesome. You alluded to it, kind of being the big fish. And sports and community, and everybody knows everybody, and to grow up like that in a safe place, safe environment, around family, friends, it's awesome as a kid, looking back. But I also knew, even at a young age, like around 15, I was like, there has to be more out there somewhere, in dirt roads, Amish country. That's all I really knew until I started traveling a little bit with basketball, and so knowing that I could choose my next 4 years, I knew I wanted it to be completely different from what I had experienced for 18 years.
Right.
So, it's crazy to think back now. I had very little experience outside of my hometown, and to make that jump into a fairly big university, fairly big city. I'm glad that I did it. I'm a little shocked that I could do it, and that my parents were like, all right, cool, like that's where you're going. And there was, again, like really no guidance on what that was going to look like, and not at their fault at all. They just didn't know. Nobody really knew how to make that transition. It was like, well, you graduated, now you're off to college, kind of good luck.
Threw you out into the big world.
Yeah. Let us know if you need anything.
Talk a little bit about your new beginning, and how Next Step could have prepared you for all the different areas that maybe you struggled in or had some pitfalls in.
I think that the biggest kind of adjustment is the time management. You have so much time to work with, and as scheduled as it is in terms of classes and basketball and workouts, and you have a lot to fill your day, but there's a lot of gaps that I think incoming freshmen, that's a huge struggle, just time management.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many opportunities to go hang with friends, do new things.
Sure.
I'm in this brand new city. Like I don't want to be productive with my time. I want to be a kid still. And so I think something that you could really help incoming freshmen with, especially anyone like me that really had no experience, not very cultured, just so many brand new things happening. just to help them, like even just a blueprint of the things that are gonna happen, the things that they probably will struggle with and don't even know about yet. So I think time management, that was the biggest thing that I struggled with.
Yeah, makes sense. What about being that small fish in a big college pond now? Because you were all everything at Corey, and basketball, softball. What did that feel like? You were in a conference that people, or even at a university that people were maybe bigger and stronger and faster.
Yeah.
What was that adjustment like for you?
It was hard. Definitely, I remember some moments with you, just feeling like maybe this is too high for me. You know, maybe I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
Definitely for the first time in my life, that first year, I had some confidence wavering. Like, wow,
Yeah.
I've always been really good. I've never struggled in a situation like this. So it was that first year that definitely some overwhelming moments that, you know, when you make that transition from being the star and now everybody is as good and better than you, that's tough. And nobody told me that. It was, you're a Division I athlete, you got a full scholarship, you're still amazing, and then you're there and I'm like, I'm actually not that good. You know, I had those moments of like, can I do this?
Sure.
But that was never spoke about either in that transition. Sure, I knew it was going to be difficult, but I never thought my confidence would kind of waver like it did at the beginning, because it was a shock. You know, you know how talented your teammates are, you know what level you're getting into, but until you're in it, you don't really know.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, this has been good information for people out there who are transitioning to the next step, or know they're going to play a sport in college. I think with Next Step, we have tools and strategies to help you when you are in those times of doubt. We talk about time management. We talk about a new identity. We talk about learning from failure and embracing the process. So I think that's some good information. Thanks for sharing.
For sure, and I think like Next Step, you know, just giving athletes and young kids the ability to talk about it and say, hey, like, did I make the right decision? Like, can I do this? And just giving them that space, you know, and helping them kind of navigate through that is huge.
Well, and I think it's also sort of normalizing the process.
For sure.
Also.
Yeah.
And again, the tools and strategies. If someone is more equipped, those days are going. The difficult days are going to be a whole lot easier.
Absolutely, and a lot less few of them.
Thanks for sharing your small town experience.
Absolutely.
Going to the big city of
Thanks for visiting.
Boston, Massachusetts. Hey, love the Amish.
Yeah.
So, anyway, thanks, bud.
Awesome, of course.